From KUNC and the NPR network, this is In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Some Colorado ski resort managers are trying a new strategy as they recover from an unusually warm and dry winter in hopes of making next season better. The concept is called snow storage. Basically, resorts gather piles of leftover snow from the end of ski season and shield them from the sun and heat in hopes that most of that snow will make it through the summer and translate into a solid base of snow when the next ski season begins later this year. So, what makes snow storage possible? And does it actually work? Reporter Betsy Welch recently saw examples of snow storage in action and wrote about it for the Colorado Sun. She joined me to talk about whether it's a source for hope as resorts cope with a warmer climate and less snow. Before we talk about how snow storage works, I want to get a sense of how much is at stake for some Colorado resorts. Beaver Creek Resort holds some early season races, and they had to make adjustments last year because of how little snow they got. What did that look like?
So Beaver Creek is the home of the Birds of Prey World Cup race. They've been holding it there for decades. Like you said, it's always late November, early December. And anyone who lives in Colorado knows that all of November was pretty much like Indian summer, a beautiful fall. And so on the ground for the folks that prepare that race course, they were battling warm temperatures. And ski races are generally held on a lot of man-made snow. So it wasn't even the fact that there was no natural snow. It was the fact that it was too warm to make snow. So they were scrambling. They were like, I think for the first time in history, they had to change the course. Anyway, they were able to pull it off, but super stressful, as you can imagine.
I can. Well, this is where snow storage starts to become a possible solution. A company from Finland makes a product called Snow Secure. It's a little like a snow cover or a snow blanket. What is unique about this, and how have resorts in Europe used it to keep snow around from one season to the next?
Well, I mean, speaking of early season ski races, as you said, this is a Finnish company, and this technology has really been pioneered in Finland. They have early season, both Nordic, like cross-country and alpine ski races.
Okay.
And with our changing climate, they too have been having warmer autumns, having a harder time making snow in the early season. And so this company have patented a system. People call it a blanket, a mat, a tarp. You can use all these terms interchangeably. It's like a big insulated blanket that you throw over a pile of snow.
Yeah, it's like a snow snuggie. I guess I'd go there.
Yes, yes.
And so how do resort workers gather up the piles of snow that go under these blankets? I'm kind of picturing a bunch of people with shovels.
Not quite, but they use heavy machinery, snowcats, maybe a backhoe loader type thing. So they would pick a place on the mountain where they want to store the snow, ideally where they're going to then use it the next season to spread it back out.
You saw one of these snow storage operations at Buttermilk Resort near Aspen recently. What did the staff there say about it? And is there much summer maintenance to do?
So Aspen Snowmass, which has 4 mountains, Aspen, Snowmass, Buttermilk, and Aspen Highlands, they are the first resort in Colorado to pilot this technology. And so in the spring, they pushed 2 piles, one at Buttermilk and one at Snowmass, and then put the Snow Secure tarp over it. The folks at Aspen have been fairly quiet about this. I think because it's a pilot program, I don't know that they want to because what if it doesn't work? However, from the interest in this story, I think they should be talking about it because people are very curious. And I think it's incredibly relevant, especially in this climate that we're in. But anyway, they say it's a pilot program. It's kind of another tool in the toolbox of managing these warmer autumns and warmer winters and figuring out different things they can do to open on time. and to have in this particular case in Aspen, it's to help build the terrain parks so you can get a jump start on building the jumps. In Finland, it's at these World Cup race venues. So it has to be used specifically, I think, to be effective.
You wrote that around 70% to 90% of snow that goes under these blankets usually survives until next season. But in the grand scheme, aren't these piles sort of a drop in the bucket when we talk about entire mountainsides being covered in powder during ski season?
Absolutely. And the founder of the Finnish company, he said it's really a timing management tool. So you're really just helping control timing, often timing of when you can open or timing of when you can host a race. And the other reason that this is a sort of a drop in the bucket, more literally maybe, is in terms of people have been concerned about the water piece. By preserving this snow, are you holding water back from our watersheds? Would this water be filling a creek?
Yeah.
And I spoke with a hydrologist a few days ago, actually, and she just said the scope of it is too small. It's really not affecting watersheds in any meaningful way. But yeah, it's one tool in the toolbox, as people have said.
Betsy, just to loop back to Beaver Creek's issue with not having enough snow, how interested are they in storing snow after last season?
They're very interested, and they certainly weighed cost and benefit. I think they decided to go with something else for next season. They're installing some more automated snowmaking equipment. But the gentleman I spoke to there, who's a longtime operations director for the races, he said, we're certainly considering it, and I see it in our future. We just decided not to invest in it this year. And I think we're going to see a lot more resorts in Colorado and across the country, as there's more success stories, are going to be investing in this.
Skiers and snowboarders certainly have these very romantic notions about fresh powder. Do you think they'll embrace resorts that recycle snow from one season to the next?
I think they'll never even know the difference, to be honest. Because that's one thing I have asked the folks who've used this is, what's the snow actually like? Is it good snow? I hiked up to the pile at Buttermilk the other day, and I kind of peeked under the tarp, and apparently it's very good snow. And underneath. And when you roll it out and flatten it out, it's decent snow. And again, because it's only going to be like a kind of a base layer, or it's going to go into forming a jump or a ski run, the average skier or snowboarder will have no idea that it's even there.
Reporter Betsy Welch spoke with me about a Colorado resort storing piles of snow through the summer under special snow blankets in hopes of preserving it for when ski season begins later this year. We'll include a link to her story for the Colorado Sun in our show notes and at KUNC.org. That's it today for In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Thanks so much for listening.